Well, well, well. Hello, everybody, once again. It has been a while. It's been a little over 2 weeks. 2.5 weeks,
Yep.
a bit-ish, because the last time we streamed was a Saturday. Uh,
Almost exactly 2.5 weeks, yeah.
yeah, Winter Anime stream. But we are
Yep.
back, and we are back on our bullshit as we are ranking Himbos.
Hell yeah.
Um, so, actually, I should get the list up. There we go. We do have female characters, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah, about like maybe 20% of the list, if that is not 20%. But there are a few ladies scattered here and there about the
Yeah.
himbo list.
So yes, we are saying himbo is a gender neutral term for the time being.
At least in this context, yeah.
Yeah. I think there is a discussion to be had because I found something that was like a chart that was really good. I can't remember where I put it now. Um,
I mean, I still think himbo works fine as a gender neutral term.
I
Yeah.
saw Herbo as the
Yeah, but that
female
doesn't.
equivalent of himbo somewhere. It doesn't roll off the tongue as good.
Yeah,
Well,
it doesn't have the same je ne sais quoi, you know?
Unfortunately, I think it was in memes, which is one of our more used channels.
Yep, that is unfortunate. We do tend to use memes a lot in our
Yeah.
server. But regardless, we do have some himbos to discuss. Some of greater quality than others, but we should, of course, go over the what makes a himbo before we discuss any deeper. So, there's generally three held criteria for a himbo that need to intersect, you know, like the whole Venn diagram thing. Pure of heart, dumb of ass, and hot of bod. There's also, of course, the corollary of himbos generally drink respect women juice.
Mm-hmm.
this is sadly not always the case, but we usually try and make.
It's
Here
a
it
good
is.
secondary qualification.
I found it. Okay, so there's, it is one of those like 4 area graphs of with obviously the horizontal is male female and the vertical is hunky and pretty. So male and hunky is himbo, female and hunky is herbos, female and pretty is bimbo, and male and pretty is himbims.
It's kind of janky, not gonna lie.
Yeah, not a fan. I see what they're going for. It just like
Yeah, it just I don't think it works quite as well. I think it's just easier to just use himbo as an all-encompassing term, you know.
I guess.
But regardless, we have laid out our qualifications, and we have our list to get through.
All 80. Is it 85? Actually,
It is either 85 or 86. Pretty sure it's 85.
around that total. So we start with Adeline from Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson.
Cool, Adolin Colin.
hate him.
I know you dislike the character, Fuzzy, but we're not talking about whether we like or hate a character. We're talking about how much of a himbo
I don't think he qualifies.
Why is
I
that?
have a valid reason for this as well.
All right, go into detail, man.
So, I will not necessarily fight you on dumb of ass.
And hot of bod.
Yes.
Because he is canonically very attractive.
Yes, I do not think he qualifies for Pure of Heart. Mainly because he has a lot of really icky qualities.
He did murk a dude.
Someone who grew up in privilege, and it shows. And it's just like, there's a certain degree of spoiled upper class to him that I think disqualifies him from the
He is a bit of a fuckboy, but not such that I think it disqualifies him entirely.
Well, he's like low-key very racist.
Hmm.
It's been too
Like
long since I've read
he's
this
got
guy.
that sort of ignorant racism to him. Like,
That's not nearly as bad as active malignant racism, though.
yes
It's just
and no, because he does like he spends a lot of series condescending to literal slaves.
mm,
It's been too long
Like
since I've
that's
read Stormlight, so I can't really chime in too much.
well,
I don't remember if this is pre or post character development, though. I'm pretty sure it's pre character development.
no, he actually got worse as the series got on because he got enabled and all. Like he and Shallan are basically in a codependent relationship in which they're enabling each other's worst behaviors.
That was not my read on it at all.
Look. I'm just going to put this out there. Which of the two of us generally has a more critical read of characters, which are generally not as accepted, but usually like has some truth to them?
I am willing to compromise and put out Adolin in C tier because, yeah, he's not like the optimal example, honestly.
He's
But
like not a good person. He is someone who thinks he's a good person, which is a very, very different thing entirely.
again, I kind of have to disagree with you. I think you're taking the most negative possible read of him.
No, like I have a literal entire server that I could go for arguments, but that is an argument that I will compromise with C because there is an argument that can be made here that would be better on a Stormlight podcast proper, where like I got an entire team. I've put an Avengers of Adeline haters together. Well, I didn't put it together, but I have one.
Okay then. I guess C tier it is then.
Up next, Adora from She-Ra.
There are a couple characters from her series that are better qualified than she is, but she's still a pretty solid example of a himbo.
She's not as dumb as she could be.
No, that is probably her biggest disqualifier.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's ironic that
I feel like I should like chime in here. Himbos are allowed like one area of expertise as per expert himbo Jesse Nowacking.
Well, here's the thing. She does like she has I feel like she has too much common sense.
She is a bit more reasonable than the standard himbo, yeah, which would bump her down a tier or two. I'd say B tier.
Fuzzy?
I can.
She is enough of a Leroy Jenkins that you could call her a dumbass reasonably.
All right.
Wouldn't you agree?
I think so, yeah, but like she's still like not that stupid.
No, she's not. Which keeps her from being in the higher tiers.
Exactly.
B is fairly average. C is when the merits start weighing you down. Is my take on the tiers.
That seems like a solid.
Yeah. Alex Luis Armstrong
from Full Metal.
He's like.
He's an A tier.
Top class, like S tier. I put him in. Well, okay, he did do war crimes.
He did do, but he is the only one who canonically felt so bad that he actually stopped engaging them during the course of the war, rather than felt bad afterwards.
It's true. He did. He wasn't. He didn't have a mustache at the time as well, so I feel like
the mustache
that probably has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. A good mustache does add some pure of heart. What I will say is I'm wanting to bump him down to A tier because like his body type's not my thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but this
Mill,
is that's too
you can't make
subjective.
it that subjective. You gotta at least the
We've got to
Hanabad
we've got to
requirement
add
is
some
at least
subjectivism somewhere.
fine. I do agree that he is an A tier, but for a different reason than you guys.
All right,
I think
what's your A tier?
he is a state alchemist, so he does have some intelligence up in that brain of his.
Yeah.
You
I did say
say
some.
that. You say that, but I think we have to like. There's like a few different types of intelligence that you have to qualify here.
He's an idiot savant, almost certainly.
Yes, no. He's like
Again,
he
though, that
literally. What? Okay. Let me put this out there.
Hmm.
He's a state alchemist, but his entire school of alchemy involves punching things.
You're not wrong. But he is an excellent sculptor with that. Which makes it even more hilarious.
I was gonna say punching things and creating weapons with his face on them. I think.
Yes,
Always
projectiles
have
with his face.
on them.
Yes. But yeah, I'd say A tier is fair. Right.
Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec.
Now, let's try not to dock him for being played by Chris Pratt, because that's not the character's fault.
He's not hot of Bard though. We do have to. Judge Chris Pratt on that.
We do. I mean, some people are into the more fluffy body type that he had as Andy, but not everyone. He definitely meets the dumb of ass qualifications, hands down.
Yeah.
Pure of Heart, after season 1, yeah. Season 1, he was kind of jerk-ass, but season 1 is also just,
the worst season of the show.
It's the worst season of the show, and it's not remotely consistent with the rest of the show.
Like, I'm fairly sure the only characters they got right were,
Leslie and Ron, basically.
Leslie and Ron, yeah.
That does seem to be typical for these big, long-running sitcoms.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is the only one I can think of that doesn't follow that rule, yeah.
Even then, they had the whole Boyle and Rosa thing that they had to get past.
Oh yeah, that
awkwardness.
Kind of
weird.
Yeah, very much early installment weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Andy's a B tier.
I'd say low B, high C at best.
Yeah, low B. I'd say we could have bottom B.
Oh my.
Aoi Todo from Jujutsu Kaisen.
S tier?
Yeah, I'd say so. He's an excellent himbo, being respectful of women and also being respectful of people's sexualities.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Like that could have easily been like such a heterosexual thing, and no, he just goes, I don't really care if it's a dude as well, I just want to know your type.
Yeah. Nah, Toto's great. And also he is such a dumbass because while he's thinking that he has a million IQ, he also just leaves himself wide open for an attack.
He got rejected in his own fantasy.
Yeah, because it gave him a better bro moment with his bro.
To be fair...
That he completely imagined.
To be fair, I'm still convinced that might be Yuji's curse technique.
I don't think it's Akatami has confirmed that it's not his curse technique. It is.
Oh right. Right. He is actually Yuji's brother.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm pretty sure he's also a curse painting womb thingy.
It's 100% related to the whole Kenjaku thing.
Yeah.
Now, here's the real question: was Kenjaku his mom or his dad?
Yes.
Well, don't kink shame Kenjaku. He got like a real taste for getting his back blown out.
I mean,
let's not get into it too much.
Have you seen Yuji's dad? That guy fucks.
We're getting off topic.
Aquaman, Batman, the Brave and the Bold.
Yes, this specific incarnation of Aquaman, because he's not nearly as much of a himbo in any other incarnation.
I would argue that the awful live action Justice League did try to go in that direction for him.
Yeah, but it didn't pull it off nearly as well as this version.
Definitely,
Obviously,
definitely pulled off.
It is outrageous to compare the two.
I'm assuming that's a quote.
That is a quote, yes.
Or a catchphrase.
He's an A tier, easy.
Was he?
I would agree with that. Oh, you know what? My favorite ever episode of Batman the Brave and the Bold was when he somehow tamed a leukocyte in the shape of a seahorse when they went inside like someone's body and called it platelet. And that just like that was very much my first aneurysm from sheer stupidity moment.
Speaking of aneurysm from sheer stupidity, Arthur Boyle from Fire Force.
Oh yeah.
I have a hard time.
Arthur honestly maxes out the dumbass portion of the scale.
He really does.
So what's ironic in that series is that because they went in the whole Jungian collective unconsciousness BS, he's probably the smartest character in the series in that sense.
Bullshit.
Because he's the only character in the series who actually does the whole belief makes it real thing.
He literally nearly lost a fight because he was using his sword in the wrong hand.
He is so dumb, he loops back around to being smart somehow, basically, is what you're saying, Fuzzy.
It's not even... No, it's not even that. It's that, his dumbness comes from his lack of common... Part of his dumbness, not all of it, but a big part of it is that he has a complete lack of common sense, and that lack of common sense is inherently a benefit in the universe. Because, it's the characters with common sense that get their crap kicked in.
Poor Hinawa, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I'd still argue that Arthur does meet all the qualifications really well.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. When you reach the level of dumbness that Arthur has reached, I don't know if you can be called pure of heart anymore, because that's not really... I don't think he has the brain capacity for that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Sort of.
Kinda, but you're also arguing around yourself, because you argued he's so dumb he's smart, but you also argued he's too dumb.
No. I argued he's so dumb that he's smart in the context of battle. But in the context of, social stuff, I don't know that he's smart enough to...
I mean, I would argue that he can be kind of a jerk, especially if Shinra's
I don't
involved.
think, I feel like he doesn't really have a concept of good and evil.
I think he does, but they're all, tied to his fantasy of being an Arthurian knight.
Yeah. No, he thinks he's King Arthur, just straight up.
And, I don't know if y'all have studied that time period, but, people weren't great.
No, they were not. Regardless, I do think he's at least qualified for a B tier. Just because of how hilariously dumb he is.
I'd put him above Dwyer.
Oh, of course. Next is Beauregard Lionette from Critical Role Campaign 2.
Well, there's a lot of stuff here that I'm just completely lack the context for, huh?
I don't know.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm not super familiar with Campaign 2 compared to Campaign 1.
Isn't that the most famous one?
Campaign 1 is the most famous one. Campaign 2 was the one that they did the entire thing of on stream so far. think it's the only one they've done fully so far on stream. But yeah, Beauregard. She is a monk class and also a very classic dumbass disaster butch lesbian.
Not the last time we're gonna get that character archetype.
Nope.
There's a lot of overlap there, huh?
Yep. But yeah, she is absolutely.
I feel like there's some sort of social commentary you can make there.
Probably. Yeah,
Disaster
I'd
gaze
say
exists
she's
for a reason.
an easy B tier, if not an A tier, from what I've seen. Again, I have not watched much of Campaign 2, but from what I have, Bo does show quite a bit of himbo behavior.
Well,
I do think she's a bit too abrasive to hit A tier, if I'm being honest.
Mm.
So I think B tier would be appropriate.
Fair and B tier.
I'd say below Adora.
Alright. Body Improvement Club.
You know I'm going to say S tier, right?
These are the Mob Psycho ones, right?
Yes, from
Yes.
Mob Psycho 100. Again, body type, not my thing.
In terms of qualifications, they are probably some of the most qualified people on this.
They are the purest of heart, and they are dumb. They are almost uniformly dumb of ass. And depending on your taste, they are also hot of bod.
Yeah, there's definitely a taste factor here.
Mm.
We should take it from the perspective of what is commonly considered hot of bod in men.
That's like
That is
No.
a taste factor, my dude.
Like
You're right.
That's gonna take us down a rough road, frankly.
No, you're right. You're right. We should try to think of not necessarily commonly considered, but would it be reasonable to find this attractive?
Are there people who find this attractive?
Yes. Are there
You
people who
can't
find this attractive?
do that because people find everything attractive.
Is there a non-niche subsection of people who find this attractive?
Is there a reasonable number of people who find this attractive? A non-negligible portion of the population.
Mathematically.
Yes. You are going to find people who find the Body Improvement Club's body types attractive.
Also, we're God, I don't even want to talk about this because I'm taking a stats class and it cannot wrap it's mandatory for my program. I cannot wrap my head around it. It's actually gonna drive me insane.
Good luck with that.
Oh God.
But yeah, I would say Body Improvement Club is a pretty easy S tier, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
What about you, Mel?
I'm still saying A tier.
Well, it's 2-1.
Yeah, but I have control now.
You can put him bottom of S if you want. There's only 2 people in S tier right now. Or 2 contenders, rather, since Body Improvement Club is collective. Bolin from Legend of Korra.
He's kind of a dick.
Only in Season 1, and a little bit of Season 2. He gets better as the series goes on, if we're being fair.
But he's a bit of a dick, even, in the end game. Also, he does not have the best track record with how he treats women.
Wasn't he on the receiving end of a rather terrible abusive relationship in Season 2?
That's not the one I was talking about, but yes. Well, it wasn't even a relationship, really. It was more him being stalked and not knowing how to say no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really got a raw deal there. I remember Bolin in seasons 3 and 4 is a lot better than he is in seasons 1 and 2.
I believe that. I do, however, have very faint memories of everything except season 1.
Season 1 is probably when he's at his worst.
I haven't watched Korra because of spite.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Because Korra replaced OG Avatar on the channel it was on in UK.
Oh, right. Because, I remember now.
And
Yeah,
Kid Me refused to watch it out of spite. The same reason I didn't watch Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Oh, wow. Isn't that a bit petty?
Kid Me was very spiteful. Very, very petty and spiteful.
It's been on Netflix for a couple years now, hasn't it?
I've tried to watch it. I haven't really been sucked in that much.
You know what? That's fair.
It's kind of a hard. OG Avatar is kind of a hard bar to cross.
It really is. Legend of Korra just does not have good luck with that.
I would argue that it doesn't necessarily
it's not
cross that hurdle as well as it might want to.
It's not Korra's fault, but
it's not. When you're stuck behind a tough act to follow on the level of Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's just no fun. Still, I think Bolin is the closest the overall franchise has to an outright himbo character type. Because none of the other major characters really qualify in one or more of the areas.
I think an argument could be made for Sokka.
Sokka's way too smart to be a himbo.
He's also
he is It's very interesting because we at that point you have to get into an argument of what constitutes dumbness and smartness.
But overall, Sokka is defined by being the most intelligent member of the gang.
Being the most strategic member of the gang.
Yes. He has extremely high, strategic...
Smarts,
yes. Which is actually quite unusual for the Himbos. Usually... Well, no, actually. Now that I think about it, a lot of the Himbos on this list are probably very book smart.
Yes. There are several in this very row that we're discussing that are definitely book smart, but yeah.
Anyway, where are we putting Bolin?
B tier.
Fuzzy?
I'm not particularly invested one way or the other, so I'll live with that.
Above Dwyer. Brock from Pokemon. So on the one hand, he is a dumbass and arguably Autobot, but he's a bit much of a skirt chaser, I feel. What do you guys think?
Fuzzy, you're about to say something?
I feel that in One Piece terms, Brock falls squarely between Sanji and Brook. Because Brook is a total gentleman about it, right?
Yeah.
He knows how to, he takes no for an answer. He only ever asks once. He's, very polite about it, and Sanji is a degenerate.
Yeah.
AKA representative of the fandom. So the question is, because Brock's, it's not about their promiscuity or skirt chasing. I think it's how they go about it.
Absolutely. Several of these.
How do you guys feel about the way Brock does the
he's
deed?
He's more of a simp than an outright harasser, I think.
Yeah, I would say so. I definitely do think he tends to not push too hard, but it's just characters like him are always uncomfortable for obvious reasons. It's just you never know how you should feel.
on the other hand, he is a very good surrogate father to his younger siblings.
Yes, and except when he, abandoned them to
To be
just
fair,
like
he
go on
didn't
an adventure.
actually do that until he managed to get his father to commit to stay home and take care of them.
All right, I did forget about that. It's been a long time, guys.
Yeah, no, he
Was
would not
doing
leave the
that?
thatch until he found his father and got him to take care of Brock's younger siblings.
Was he doing that out of the kindness of his heart? Because he did seem like he was a little bit resentful about it.
I mean, it was little column A, little column B. He did want his siblings to be looked after. It's just he also felt like his father was not living up to his duties as a parent.
Mm.
A piece of garbage, yes.
Mm-hmm. So you thinking B tier or C tier?
I say C because we've put too many people in B as it is.
Yeah,
Frankly,
I can agree with that.
I think he's probably better than Andy, but I personally want to bring Andy down to C.
We can do that, honestly.
I agree with that. Like now, no, like now that we are a bit further into the list.
Buzz Lightyear. Look, I don't care what you say. I'm not classifying this as hot as bod. Hot or bod.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
You cannot tell me there is a non-niche portion of the population that wants to fuck a toy. Not that kind of toy.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's like even okay, but have you considered Chris Evans?
Yeah, the Chris Evans version of Buzz Lightyear.
You didn't put the Chris Evans version of Buzz Lightyear.
No, because there are several individuals on this list that have multiple incarnations.
And
So I chose the
several,
most well-known incarnation of
and
each.
several that have single incarnations. You've got two of the same character on this list.
You're right, because I do think the two versions of Thor are distinct enough to merit separate discussion.
And you don't think a toy and a live-action person are not distinct enough?
To be fair, the Buzz in Lightyear movie is not live action.
Whatever.
But I digress.
I'm just saying.
I still argue that he is a pure of heart, dumb of ass character.
I'm going no higher than
Yes. Okay. Well, he was a bit sexist in the tie-in movie introduction thing.
Well, that's separate
remember that?
I don't remember that one. I vaguely recall it existing, but I don't remember much about that thing, if at all.
Like, there was a little sexism there. Not gonna lie.
Alright. I'll take your word for it.
Also, he's a cop.
That is a very good point I had not considered previously.
So C tier then.
Are feds cops?
Yes.
Depends on who you ask.
I'd argue yes, and they... Could they be worse?
Yeah, they could.
They could be worse, but they could also be better, because, like, a lot of the most vile stuff happens, like, at the street level, and a lot of feds don't really work at the street level. This is an entirely separate conversation we'll have off stream. But I am interested in knowing your thoughts.
Yeah. Next up is Castiel from Supernatural.
Ah, you mean the most screwed over character in the series?
Correct.
The buried gay, as it were?
Yep.
I hate that I can say that term and just have it be understandable.
Yeah, no, it sucks. Castiel, on the other hand, is a fun character and very much a, at least initially, a pure of heart dumbass who is trying his best.
He's trying his best. Whether or not he's succeeding is a different question entirely, but he is trying.
Yep. There's this one bit where he no, it's hard to explain. He's a fun lovable dumbass though, and I do.
Where are you, which one are you talking about, incidentally? Because I might know. Because I have watched a lot of Supernatural.
The one where he Molotovs Michael.
Yes. That was...
Very dumbass move, but very much well intentioned. I think it fits the spirit of it, if nothing else.
So you're saying he's a bit confused, but he's got the spirit.
Correct.
That is definitely one of my favorite, of the many, Is Will Smith still cancelled?
Depends when you ask.
What did Will Smith do?
He slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars last year.
Eh, poor judgment, I guess, but I don't think that's, like, cancelable.
Like I said, depends who you ask.
Yeah, I'm kind of just like...
Yeah, I feel like the ones who are trying to cancel him, though, are the Chris Rock fans, and, like, based on what Chris Rock is currently doing, yeah.
Yeah, Chris Rock's not exactly the
Beacon of
best hill to
morality,
die
yeah.
on.
Anyways, back to the subject of Castiel. What do you think, Fuzzy? Where do you think he should go?
He's very mid, I feel.
So B tier?
Yeah, I can, like, live with that.
You think mid is B tier or C tier?
C tier.
What's our lowest tier?
D.
But, you know, the rate we're going, I'm not sure if we're actually going to get anyone in D tier.
We'll see. We shall see.
Oh, no, we are absolutely going to get somebody in D tier.
There are a couple I think who qualify, but we'll get to them when we get to them. Most of them are probably going to wind up in B and C tier because that's how tier lists usually go. But yeah, I'd say C tier for Castiel. Near the top,
I can live
though.
with that.
Actually, yeah, C tier near the top.
Oh,
B tier near the top.
B tier near the top. Can you live with that, Fuzzy?
Yeah, I'm, like, very neutral on Castiel as a character.
I'd say put him below Adora.
Alright.
Dahlia.
Didn't watch Dragon Ball, who dis?
This is a character from Monster Problem 2.
I don't know any of their names, I just remember their archetypes. Oh,
Yeah,
it's the demon girl. Yes, okay.
Yeah, the jock demon girl, yeah.
Yeah, the
Let's be real, she's
makers
not
of that
pure.
game knew what they were doing when they made her.
But she's also not pure of heart.
Oh no,
Very much
she
so.
absolutely not. That definitely bumps her down.
Yeah.
But you can't argue against Hadabad.
No. And dumb of ass.
Mm-hmm.
Then most of the characters in that game are dumb of ass.
Yeah, but not as most characters are not as dumb of ass as Dahlia, with one exception.
Yeah, she's She's not evil,
No,
but
but she
she's
is
not.
exceptionally violent.
Yeah, she's not like good either.
No, again, exceptionally violent.
I'm gonna say there.
I'd say a bit higher in C tier, honestly.
Really?
Look, the hotness outweighs the violence.
He has a point, Mel.
Dean Winchester. Oh boy.
Ugh.
He goes a lot lower than Castiel.
He's very misogynistic as well, which is something to consider.
Hmm.
We got our first detail.
I think so, yeah.
Right.
Dean is... Look, you can argue that he's attractive. A lot of people will agree with you on that. But, like, he's also... And he is a dumbass. But he can be a real asshole sometimes.
Sometimes?
A lot of the time.
There's literally a storyline later in the series whereby someone is hunting him down for killing his dad and just like letting a child watch that. It is like, why would you do this?
Could not tell you.
Derek Zoolander.
Zoolander is an absolute dumbass. Like, I'm pretty sure he has like a very low double-digit IQ, and he is a male model.
Very much, yeah. He definitely he's got the room temperature IQ going for him.
Yep, and he is of course a male model, so that is definitely a solid argument for Autobot.
He's played by Ben Stiller.
But Jack, I have a question.
What's the question?
But why male models?
Because they're dumb. You've watched the movie,
why male
right?
models?
You've watched...
No, yeah, I thought you'd watch the movie, but apparently you haven't, because that's one of the most major jokes in the series where just...
It has been so long since I watched the movie, man. If I'm being honest, it has been a long-ass time.
It's like, literally, there's a whole thing where he's like, but why male models? And then gets the question answered, and then about 2 seconds later, he's like, but why male models? Again.
Yeah.
And that was entirely improv because Stiller forgot his line, and Duchovny was just like, are you okay?
Yeah. But no, Zoolander absolutely fits the twofer of Autobot and Dumb of Ass. The question is, how pure of heart is he?
I'm still not like all in on Hot of Bod. Like, you can say he's a male model all you want, but he's still played by Ben Stiller, and I don't find him attractive.
I mean, that's fair,
but a lot
but
of people do.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, because, like, remember, Mel, you do have very specific tastes. I share most of those tastes, but that doesn't mean those tastes are any less specific for that.
I have seen... I am on Twitter more than you two, and I've seen people thirsting over celebrities. I have not seen people thirsting over Ben Stiller.
Well, remember, this was during his early career. This was early 2000s.
This is young Ben Stiller, not current Ben Stiller.
This is pre-Night at the Museum Ben Stiller.
Also, you do have to remember, it's not just people on Twitter who thirst over actors. There's also a lot of, like, middle-aged single moms.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
He's pretty popular in that demographic, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'd say he qualifies on those two counts, at least. Now, would you say he's pure of heart, Fuzzy? Is the question.
He's too dumb to have a concept of good and evil, but he does. He's a absolute awful in like the start of the series, but like, or the start of the movie, but like the entire thing is about his growth as a character. So
So A tier then?
Yeah, I'm realizing I'm more invested in Zoolander than I thought I was, which is somewhat concerning to me.
Yes. So you think A tier?
I think it's only fair, yeah.
Below Aquaman.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't disagree enough.
Alright, Dick Grayson, aka Nightwing.
Oh God.
So,
Okay.
canonically, he has the hottest ass of any male superhero in DC. Like, more or less canonically in the canon of the comics. There are numerous characters who remark on his ass. I am not joking.
No, I know. That's why I'm so. It's like. So here's the thing. Dick Grayson. I feel like a lot of these are going to come down to a very simple factor.
Which is?
The prevalence of not the prevalence, but the variance in their personality.
Mm.
The reason I say this is because comic book characters, especially, their
Yeah.
personality varies depending on the writer. There are some writers who write Dick Grayson as an absolutely misogynistic prick.
Yeah. Canonically speaking, though, based on the majority of canon that I've seen at least, Dick Grayson is either the
He's
nicest or
decent.
second nicest member of the Bat family. Depending on if you count depending on which version of Tim Drake you have.
Yeah, Tim Drake's been through some stuff.
Yeah. But either Tim or Dick is usually considered the nicest member of the Bat family. And if neither of them are nice, then you have a bad writer on your hands.
Which is depressingly not uncommon in
Yep.
comics.
Unfortunately, bad comic writers are all too common. But yeah,
I'd say he's probably nice enough that you just like give it to him, like put him somewhere in like
A tier
A
maybe?
tier. Yeah.
Yeah. The low A tier because he is canonically fairly intelligent. He's just like,
I feel
Oh,
like
that's right. I hadn't considered the dumbness factor.
yeah, so maybe that bumps him down to B tier actually.
Right, right. We're forgetting that yeah, he's not that dumb.
Yeah.
He's like
So
he is stupid, but he's stupid in the way that all comic book characters are for plot to happen.
mhm.
I feel like
I'd
that
say
bumps him down to C.
no, he's
Like,
very much too kind and smart and attractive to be C tier.
You just got done having a discussion where saying that yes, he has been written as a jackass sometimes. And
By
again,
bad writers.
that doesn't change anything. Like, again, if you wanted a specific version of Dick Grayson where it was written by somebody who you thought wrote him well, you should have picked that. No, you picked the entire character. The entire character has some baggage in his past from what you've said.
He's got a point, Jeff.
On the
No,
average,
no, he's
I
got a
think
point.
on the average, I think Dick Grayson is a very nice person. I believe that's how most writers try to write him. The ones who don't, um, Well, that generally tends to get retconned very quickly. Isn't that right, Fuzzy?
Yeah. There's also those times that Batman either slaps him or somehow for some reason sleeps in the same bed as him. I was like, it was a very weird time
Yeah,
in
those.
in the 50s. That wasn't even like meant to. I don't think it was even meant to be
It
like.
wasn't.
Yeah.
That's just weird.
Yeah,
I'm
it's just
telling you.
like it. Why is it in the homophobia lands of the 1950s? Apparently, no one considered it even slightly strange that
Fuzzy, I could
apparently.
not tell you. I
Yeah.
could not tell you.
Okay. Well, yes. Anyway, I'll defer to Mill's judgment on this. I think I'll defer to Mill's judgment on most of these because I do not have the energy to fight. Well, I don't have the energy to fight for these characters. Believe me, there are some characters who I will.
Go to
Regardless,
hell.
I'd say B tier.
I say high C.
I'd say low B.
Flip a coin.
I don't have a coin.
I do.
Go on random.org. It's an entire thing.
All right, call it, Mill. Heads or tails?
Tails.
God damn it. Where are you? Heads! All right, Dick Gumshoe.
He's a cop.
That would bump him down. Yes, but he is also a very ineffectual cop.
Are we really playing the incompetence card here?
Yes.
I don't think that's a valid card, Jack. I'm sorry to say.
No, you're right. You're right. But he is also demonstrably like
Terrible at his
one
job.
of the few law officers in this series who's shown to, have at least some moral fiber.
You are definitely correct on that.
It's not a high bar.
It's
Is the
not.
problem?
No, it's not. But I'm
Like
not
the
wrong.
vast majority of the cops we get introduced to certainly in the 3 games that we've played were fairly terrible people, or also incompetent as hell.
Why not both?
But yeah, I'd say Gumshoe is either B or C.
He's also a Pokemon. He's also featured in a lot of Bara.
I am not remotely shocked.
He is a big dude.
Like, yes.
Well, he is a big dude. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like no, but like, why is he of all people apparently some sort of sex symbol in the Bara community? Like, I feel that you could do better.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, for example, another one who has a similar place in the community is Yami from Black Clover. And I totally get that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shoot. I probably should have put him on here. Oh, well.
Oh, he's not on?
Nope.
Asta's on here and Yami isn't?
No, Asta's not on here.
Asta's not on here.
Did we just ignore Modern Jump?
No.
We've
Haji's on here.
literally got Kirishima next, Fuzzy.
I just completely spaced on it. I'm sorry. I can't go back and edit it either because Twitter is bullshit.
Look, here's the thing. Black Clover, not the best series. It tries. It's a little hard out, but
Yeah.
does have some excellent himbos.
Yes, that does. But, speaking of Kirishima, we should talk about him next.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's pretty cool, except for his terrible taste in men.
Yeah, but we can't hold that against him.
Mel, what are you thinking? I feel that you might be one of the more invested people in the Mahiro talks.
High A, low S.
I am fine with that. I'm fine if you put him in S tier. I don't mind. I think that would work, actually.
I can't think of a good reason to deny that.
Gainsay that, yeah, no.
Actually,
Yes.
okay, no, yeah. I was just trying to remember where he was sort of ranked in the class in terms of like
He's very
grades.
low.
Yeah, it was pretty low.
In what term?
I think it was the bottom 5.
In like
In
popularity?
No, intelligence and test scores.
Ah.
He was 15.
So just above the bottom 5. Gotcha.
Yeah. And then he failed the final exam practicals because he Leroy Jenkins his way through. Sato at least had an excuse. His quirk like saps his brain power. Kirishima just went ham.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Sato is one of the more interesting characters in the series because it's like you don't think about it, but he's kind of like got screwed over in the quirk department.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, shouldn't linger too long.
Fezzik, Princess Bride.
He may not be the smartest bull, but he is surprisingly philosophical.
I have not watched The Princess Bride.
I haven't watched it for a while. I have definitely watched it. I just haven't for ages.
Fezzik
is very funnier?
Yeah.
I not only have I not watched it, I had the opportunity to watch it in my grade 9 English class, and I chose not to.
Okay, that's just nah. Why would you skip out on that, man?
According to TV tropes, Fezzik, while not intelligent enough to be a genius bruiser, he is pretty witty and resourceful when the situation calls for it.
Since when has TV tropes been the most reliable source, though?
It's not, but it's
You'd be
a better source than many of the alternatives.
Smarter than you look is also a trope for him.
Like I said, he's surprisingly insightful. But that doesn't mean he's not something of a dumbass here and there.
I'm just saying, we do have to sort of like we've got to raise the bar here, Jack.
No, I'm fine with putting him in like B tier or something.
Andre the Giant is not a pretty man.
You're not wrong there.
I say high C, top of C.
Yeah, that's fair. Frankie. So Frankie is quite possibly the smartest person on this list.
He's also one of the dumbest people on this list.
Yeah, it's a funny paradox.
Again, it's like I think we need to redefine our categories. I don't think what we're looking for is intelligence. I think we're looking for when we say dumb of ass is more common sense.
Well, no, it's a bit of both.
Again,
like there's a lot of characters on these lists.
Himbos are allowed a area of specialization as long as they are dumb at everything else.
That is fair. You're right. I had forgotten
Frankie is a genius engineer in shipwright, but he is not very smart in most other areas. I'm pretty sure he does have a pretty decent emotional intelligence, though.
I would still say that Frankie is too smart for Himbo still, even with that.
Like, it's difficult for Frankie because you have comparisons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look
Yeah.
at some of his crewmates.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like,
We have 3 other Straw Hats who definitely would be much more dumb of ass than Frankie. Just on this list alone.
Mm.
Like I said, Frankie is probably the most intelligent person on this list.
Mm.
which is really saying something, huh?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, looking at the list right now, I cannot think of anyone on the off the top of my head who is substantially smarter than Frankie, besides maybe Luke or Iskander.
Yeah, I think his intelligence puts him a bit lower on the list,
I'd say
sadly.
low C then. Yeah, that seems about right. Fred.
Fred Jones, Scooby Doo. Again, I kind of think he's too smart.
You say that, but he also is the cast member who routinely insists on splitting the party.
That's not Fred's fault.
Yes, it is. He is the one who insists on it.
He's got a
The
point,
sh-
Jack.
The show's tropes insist on that. You can't blame that on Fred.
I do think he also hyperfixates quite a bit on trapping the culprits rather than looking for more practical
Again,
solutions.
it really depends on what which Fred you focus on, because in some, yeah, he is really smart, and others he has been turned into more of a dumbass.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to just take the mean.
I still think he's just still pretty smart.
Don't talk to me about taking means. I'm still having nightmares about my midterm.
Sorry.
I should point out that just while we're on the subject, it's just occurred to me bring up stats. When I did stats in high school, a friend of mine did actually have a small heart scare, which we joked was because stats was literally killing him. Once he was better, we joked about that. While he was still suffering, we were, pretty worried. But once it was like, oh yeah, no, it was it wasn't anything big. We were just like, yeah, stats nearly killed him. That's how boring they were.
So, ironically, my problem isn't the boring aspect. My problem is that it's like too hard for me. My brain doesn't like rocket at all.
Oof. Regardless, I think Fred is a low B tier.
Yeah.
Because if we average out him across continuities, he averages out to mildly intelligent, but he's still very pure of heart. Gallo Timos from Promare.
Just going back to Fred, his intelligence is inversely proportional to Daphne's.
Yeah, that's fair.
When Daphne is smart, he's dumb. When Daphne is dumb, he's smart. And Be Cool Scooby-Doo really made Daphne weird.
Didn't Be Cool Scooby-Doo also make Fred like a hyperfixated trap?
No, that was Mystery Incorporated.
Ah, right.
Mystery Incorporated was the one where that had Daphne find Traps Monthly, I think, a magazine, and like pretend it was porn.
But anyways, Gallo from Promare.
Is he the top or the bottom?
The top.
That's how I remember them.
He's the top. He's the twunk. He's the twunk.
Ah, yes, I don't like him as much for obvious reasons.
Because he's beefier?
Yeah.
Well,
Look, we have discussed my taste at length.
no, that's fair. That's fair.
I
I
agree
do
with
think
Fuzzy.
that's a matter of personal taste. I will say that a lot of people admit that find him attractive.
Oh, absolutely.
But he also definitely fits the pure of heart and dumb of ass tropes to a T. I'd say he's A tier.
Hi, B.
I can live with that simply because I can't really think of a reason not to.
What, high B or low A?
I have not watched Promare. I just know I've absorbed it through mimetic osmosis, so I'll let you be the judge.
My gut
I
says high
think,
B.
if you insist, man, I think he's low A. George of the Jungle.
Brendan Fraser's pretty hot.
George of the Jungle is a
In that
classic
movie,
himbo.
yes.
He is a classic himbo.
In a lot of his early, what was it, late 90s, early 2000s movies.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, when was George of the Jungle?
Exactly that time period, yes.
'97. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So right around the time that of Brendan Fraser's Mummy fame as well.
Mm-hmm. Rick
Oh,
O'Connell
my.
was a bit too smart for me to put him on this
Oh
list.
no, I agree. But the point is that those two, Mummy and Mummy Returns, raised a generation of bisexuals.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, but but both of them are hot.
Yes. Both is good. But yeah, I'd say
Was that not? No, that was from
Road to El Dorado.
Road to El Dorado. I grew up on that movie.
That movie was great. But yeah, George of the Jungle, I'd say A tier. Because
I think so, yeah.
Pure Heart Dumb Vast Hot Bod is kind of. What'd you think A or S actually?
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think that has to be for the really exceptional.
So we're in A, do you think?
Above Aquaman.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Gideon
Nav. She's a fun one. Another example of the himbo lesbian.
I have not locked any tombs, I'm afraid, so I will have to
Defer to
decline.
us, yes. Oh, that's fair, that's fair. What do you think, Mel? I want to get your take on this.
My one question would be how pure of heart she is.
That is a good question.
Like
She does in the first book at least, she does stand out as one of the more morally upstanding people present at Canaan House.
That's not a high bar.
You're not
also,
wrong.
Isn't this series famous for narrator viewpoint unreliability?
Not
and
really.
Isn't he the narrator of the first book?
It's not as bad in the first book. The unreliability is more from just lacking knowledge and context, which is in character for a himbo.
Like, I definitely agree that Gideon is like one of the more morally upstanding characters in the Locked Tomb.
The very first thing she does upon getting to Canaan House is assist a fainting woman, making sure she's okay.
How much of that was because of who it was?
Yeah, no,
fair.
If she did it because the woman was hot, then that doesn't count.
But she also does take a shine to mentoring the kids.
She does. I'll give her that. As I said, I don't think she's not pure of heart. I'm just saying, on a sliding scale of this list.
I'd say she goes bottom of A because she is not as pure of heart as those above that, but she's also a lot more pure of heart than some of the people in B and below.
I want to put her above Ben Stiller just because of the hotness.
Yes, agree.
Son
Oh, Goku.
I'm going to be honest, he has gotten less hot as the years gone by.
I mean, he's aged pretty damn well for a man in his, what, 50s, 60s?
He's like 60 by this point.
Is he?
No, because you gotta take into account the fact that he missed 7 years because of being dead, so he's biologically in his 50s still.
But also, he has spent years at a time in the hypersonic lion tamer.
True. But yeah, he does look good for a man in his, 50s, 60s.
3. He's 43!
He's not pure of heart.
He's 43! Don't pull that 50s bullshit.
He is, definitely not pure of heart, and I will die on this hill.
He is canonically pure of heart, Fuzzy. He would not be able to ride the Nimbus if he wasn't.
I thought that was just because he was a moron.
Yes!
Why not both?
There, you are the series seems to be conflating pure of heart and just sheer stupidity. Because I have a very good reason for saying this. He does not care about the consequences of his actions as long as he receives gratification.
That's not necessarily unpure, though. Because he is very much pure, unadulterated.
Yes, you're
focus.
evil. Oh god, that's just one of the funniest.
Yeah, but still,
Evisms. No, but
purity isn't necessarily pure, perfect moral
I feel
goodness.
like the way we've been phrasing it thus far, we have been using pure of heart as a good person. And he is not really a good person if he's willing to allow genocide to happen to get a good fight in.
Okay, you know
what I'm
what?
saying?
That's fair, yes.
Remember who this is. This is the man who is perfectly fine with a literal civilization, literal universe's ending as long as he gets to fight good.
So
yeah.
C tier then.
Yeah, I do not think he deserves any higher.
Would you really put him above Dahlia Mill?
Yeah, because Dahlia's even less pure of heart than Goku.
You know what? Fair. Alright, Grey Fullbuster. Mr. Strips on Instinct.
Is that sexual harassment? I feel like it should be. Right?
Well, no, it's a subconscious thing. He just strips on, complete instinct.
But that it being subconscious is not an excuse for doing something harmful. If the people around him do not consent to him being naked or seeing him naked, that's not okay.
To be fair, most of the people around him don't care or are used to it or find it funny.
But it's the principle of the thing.
I'm not going to argue very strongly in Gray's case. I'm just saying.
Yes, I definitely see where you're coming from. It's just
But yeah, he's definitely dumb of ass, though not as much as some of the other characters in his series. The question is, would he be considered? He'd probably be considered hot of bod by the majority of people who are into men, or at least a substantial number.
And he's very much got the supermodel thing going on, so yeah, I guess.
The question is how pure of heart we would see him as. What do you think, Fuzzy?
He's one of those who's a bit more ambiguous, but it's more that he kind of just like does his own thing. I don't think he's like he doesn't really go. He's very much a friends and family only sort of guy, from what I can tell. He doesn't seem to particularly value people who are not his people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fuck you, got line type thing. I don't think it's
Yeah.
quite to that level, but yeah.
So it depends on how you would
Interpret
view
that.
them. Yeah.
I'd say he's a decent B tier in that case. Probably bottom of B tier, but still.
I can live with that.
Grog Strongjaw.
I really need to watch that campaign.
Yeah, you know, if you want, you can watch the animated series if you want to get a.
No.
At least...
I want to watch the campaign first before I watch the animated series. It's a whole thing.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, Grog is very much dumb of ass and probably hot a bod, but
He's too big.
he's also just very much more violent than is standard for Himbos. And a bit bloodthirsty as well. Very much a Blood Knight type, you know? Comes with being a Berserker Barbarian.
Yeah, it's kind of by design.
Mm-hmm. So I'd say he goes in C tier. Albeit higher than Goku. Dude loves a good fight. Oh, Mista. Where do you think he falls? No.
He is stupid enough that his stand that is literally revolves around controlling bullets does get himself shot multiple times.
About half the shots that come out of his gun wind up going back into his body, so yeah.
To the point that you might even wonder if it's like just a side effect of his stand. But no, he's just kind of like he's
Very
a great marksman. He's just also he always hits his shots. The question is who he hits.
Yes. Yes.
Personally, don't believe anyone in the JoJo's art style is that hot.
That's definitely an opinion that I don't disagree with, but
at the
some people will contest that.
At the same time, Part 5 is canonically fucking Araki's attempt at writing hot people dying, so...
Yes. To be fair, there are probably hotter characters in. Most would argue that Bruno is probably the hottest of the main cast, but
way too smart for Himbo.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Mista is also a gangster, so that does dock him some points on the pure of heart spectrum.
Well, okay, I have a question. Apparently, they're gangsters who don't really do any of the bad stuff, like the drugs and guns. So, like, what exactly do they do
then? Gamble or some shit?
They just walk around being very, like,
flamboyant?
Very flamboyant, yeah.
So they're the gangsters that don't do anything.
They're musical gangsters.
God.
They just walk around snapping their fingers every so often.
Yeah. He is a gangster, but at the same time, he is a gangster who doesn't do much in terms of violence.
Here's the thing, though. He's not a gangster.
He's a gangstar, yes.
Actually,
Yes,
The-
Fuzzy.
remember what the crew did to that one dude on the boat with the dance? That's pretty awful.
That was pretty fucked
yeah,
up,
but
yes.
he was like,
I know, I don't care. That's pretty fucked up.
He was vibing. Just straight vibing.
look, sometimes you just gotta dance on your enemies as a show of dominance.
Yes.
Also, he didn't start; he just joined in.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was definitely a Baccio and, what's his face? Narancio doing that.
That was all Narantia.
Yeah.
That's still like, it's just like the fact that exists is.
It's fucking weird, but that's JoJo for you.
It's just, it brings me far more joy than it should.
Mm-hmm. Regardless,
That
where do
exists.
we put Mista?
Say it best.
High or low C?
Low.
So below Frankie then.
Yeah.
Oh, did you bump Adolin down to D tier?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Han Solo. Well, he's
Han
played by
Solo.
young Harrison Ford. But also,
But also, he's Han Solo.
yeah. He's very cool, but I don't think he really fits Pure of Heart or Dumb of Ass.
No, he's very much like,
He's a
not
lovable
only-
rogue.
yeah, he's like very much specific archetype.
Mm-hmm. And that archetype doesn't really vibe well with the Himbo archetype in terms of compatibility. So I'd say probably a D tier, actually.
Yeah, I think that's
Han shot first.
He did shoot first. Good for him.
canonically. Except not canonically, because George Lucas is...
George Lucas is a fucking coward.
He's a very strange man.
Yes, and he's a coward.
I have a lot of questions for George Lucas.
Well,
I'd never
I ha-
ask him because I'm a coward, but like...
Well, I have something to say as well to him. I said, hey, yeah. Hey.
It's not a George Lucas, was...
No, but it's relevant to the next dude.
He-Man.
Is he?
He's the one in the hey yeah meme. You remember that meme, right?
Of course I do. Like, I'm asking, is he on the Himbo tier list?
Yes.
Yeah. He's
next.
the next one up.
I didn't realize he was still
Yeah.
relevant.
Of course he would go on the Himbo tier list. He's fucking He-Man.
So, okay. Original He-Man was a bit misogynistic.
You're not wrong there. Later versions of He-Man toned it down considerably. I kind of chalk up the OG He-Man being a bit of a prick to it being the 80s and being the height of machismo and testosterone poisoning in those days.
Yes, toxic masculinity. You can call it what it is.
Yes, it is that. But yeah, later incarnations toned that down considerably if they didn't remove it altogether. Like, more modern incarnations of He-Man definitely drink that respect women juice.
Which is definitely a good thing.
Yes. As for the remaining qualifiers, he's definitely pure of heart and dumb of ass. And some would argue hot of bod. I'd say he's a very quintessential A-tier himbo.
I only have very tangential knowledge of He-Man.
You know what? That's fair. What were you going to say, Fuzzy?
Beefy for my taste.
A bit beefy? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit too beefy.
Well, the standard himbo is on the beefier side. Which is, I know it's not to your guys' taste, but that is kind of the standard himbo body type.
Standard screams B to me.
Well, I'd say he is one of the codifiers for the Himbo archetype, so I think that does bump him up a little bit. He's not the codifier, that's a bit later, but I would say he's one of the precursors to the Himbo archetype, as we know it today. Would you agree, Fuzzy?
I think so, yes.
So I think that merits a little bit of siege bump to A.
No, I don't think it. I wouldn't go that far.
Well, top of B then, at the very least.
Alright.
Good old Hercules from Disney's Hercules. Not the mythological Hercules, that is, Heracles, rather. That is a very different discussion.
That is not really a discussion. He's total prick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mythical Heracles does not meet modern definitions of heroism. But yeah, Disney's Hercules. Very much a, I'd say he's a himbo of a pretty high caliber. He's definitely the most himbo-ish Disney protagonist. By quite a wide margin. I have not watched Hercules in quite a while, though, I will admit. What about you guys? Alright, you don't watch Disney. What about you, Fuzzy?
I feel like he's not the best example simply because he's how should I say this? His story arc is
Wildly inconsistent?
yes.
Yeah, that's a flaw of the movie as a whole, though. The movie has a lot of consistency issues overall. Which is unfortunate. Because it was a movie with a lot of potential. I still say Herc himself, though, is does fit the himbo archetype fairly well. Though he does get a bit caught up in his fame during the second act of the movie.
Well, that's kind of the point, yeah. So that's the whole thing.
That's kind of the point of the story, that he gets caught up in the fame and then then realizes the error of his ways and all that. But like, yeah, I'd say he's a low B tier. Probably right between Fred and Bolin. Oh, he
I
knows.
can live with
Okay.
that. Inosuke, huh?
Yep.
Autobot, dumb of ass, not pure of heart.
Very
Let's
much
be
agree.
real.
He's a bit too fight happy, yeah.
I will say his gag of not calling Tanjiro the right name ever is always funny.
Oh, absolutely.
Good old Kamaboko Gonpachiro.
The best one is when Tanjiro sent flying by the father spider demon and Inosuke just yells wholeheartedly, Kentaro! Like, he's not doing it on purpose, he just genuinely doesn't know it. Because
Yeah.
he's self-centered.
Yeah. I'd say
Doesn't care.
a B tier.
No.
C
He's
tier.
Yeah.
He's a bit too much of a dick.
High C tier, then.
Yeah.
He is disturbingly attractive.
Yeah, it's almost like as the Kaiser made this joke in his like X and X minutes thing.
That's what I was
like,
referencing, yeah.
yeah, it's like I prefer him keeping the thing on.
Yeah.
Also, he's way too buff for that head.
He is.
He is.
But I welcome the buffness.
Yes.
That's like the
Speaking of
only place
buffness.
where. Yes.
Iskandar. aka Ryder.
There's so many jokes to be made there. I don't even know where to start.
I mean, canonically, he is bisexual, much like much like the real life Alexander the Great is speculated to have been. And I believe it is implied in at least one semi-canon piece of supplementary material that he and Waver did bang.
Wait, really?
It's implied in supplementary material that's dubiously canon, yes.
With Faye? Oh no! Don't you know that now the Nasuverse in general, like as per word of God, everything is canon.
At least in
It's
some
like
timelines, yes.
Yes, it's a multiverse thing. So as per Nasu himself, I don't know if that's his actual name, but
It is his name,
as
yes.
per the dude, everything's canon. So they did. Which one is Waver? Like
Waver
who was
Velvet.
it?
The
No,
mask. What do you mean?
like what historical figure was he?
No, Waver wasn't a historical figure. He was the guy who summoned Iskandar in Fate Zero.
Oh, that
I mean,
explains why he's not.
yeah. Historically, Alexander the Great is speculated to have definitely been bisexual, with pretty strong evidence for it, and so Fate's Fate's version of the character is also bisexual. But yeah, very much a. He's a. I think he's a bit too intelligent and wise to fully fall into the himbo archetype, but he is also a very he does meet the pure of heart and hot of bond qualifications quite well compared to some other people on this list. He also is quite Leroy Jenkins.
I don't know that that's necessarily like a point against him, though.
Honestly, he's strong enough that he probably could have survived most of those encounters, even without chance going in his favor. If I recall correctly, he was canonically one of the stronger participants in that particular Holy Grail War. But yeah, I'd say B tier. It's him being legitimately intelligent that brings him down a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
The question is, do we put him above or below Fred or Gumshoe?
Definitely above the. Well, no, he is a monarch, so.
Yeah. So below Gumshoe.
Yeah.
James from Pokemon.
Oh, James. He fits the Dumbass bit really well. He's also. I don't know, Mill. Would you say he's Autobot?
Not my type.
You know what? Fair.
Definitely wouldn't say he's pure of heart.
No, he's not. Well, he's pure heart in his own way, just not.
Spent the last 20 years trying to steal a kid's electric rat. Like, admittedly,
Yes.
at some point, they probably it just became a case of principle of we got to do this.
Yes.
For our own self-esteem, we have to succeed at this at least once.
I think that's what it became over time.
It did definitely. It became a vendetta to a certain extent. A vendetta born of foolish pride.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it definitely fits into the dumb of ass part of that. Yeah, you want to say C tier then?
I'd say so, yeah.
Something in that range, yes.
Maybe
Better
high
or
C
worse than
tier.
Brock?
I'd say better. He's not an inveterate skirt chaser. All right,
Yeah, he's definitely.
Oh, please.
So okay,
This one's you, Mill.
Yes, it is.
no, I was gonna say something.
Yeah.
Oh, go for it then.
He's like definitely getting pegged by Jesse on a regular basis, isn't he?
Yes.
I thought he was just outright gay, but yeah, that is also possible.
No, he's always pegged me more as bi, or even actually more so. I feel that he's definitely gender fluid or like non-binary.
Hmm. He's
Like
at the very least effeminate or gender non-conforming.
you definitely James. No, like, do you have any idea how often James cross dresses?
Oh, all the fucking time. That
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean he's trans. It just might mean he's
No,
GMC as fuck.
I'm thinking more fluid than trans.
Yeah, well, gender fluid is a type of trans.
Isn't isn't non-binary? It's kind of its own little thing.
It is. Well, unless you start off as non-binary, then you are trans if you are non-binary. I believe
Wait,
that's how it goes.
no. Okay, look, there's a whole conversation we can have here, but like,
At the very least, James is very much gender non-conforming.
yeah, that much we can say, yes.
But yeah,
So,
as for sexual orientation, that's a whole different issue.
so Joe from Skate the Infinity.
That's all you, Mill.
Canonically, Hot of Bod like gets fawned over constantly. Pure of Heart, one of the nicest characters in the series. Like goes out of his way to help the younger members of the group. Dumb of Ass, that's where there can be some argument, I think, because he's well, his whole thing is that he skates very instinctually, but he also says that all skaters are fucking idiots. So, all skaters are idiots. But he does admit it that he is an idiot himself. So, but I'd still argue mid to high B.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. Where in B?
Gonna put him
Like around Arthurish, or okay.
Gonna put him there above the supernatural guy whose name I apparently can't pronounce.
Castiel. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I keep thinking Castile.
You gotta separate that last bit. You gotta separate that last bit out. Joey Wheeler, aka Brooklyn Rage.
No man who uses Swordsman of Landstar in his deck can be classed as anything other than dumb of ass.
I feel like that makes sense even when you're not a Yu-Gi-Oh person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Joey's definitely dumb. The other two parts of the equation are what's in question.
I wouldn't necessarily say Hot of Bod.
But is he pure of heart?
He's pretty pure of heart, yeah. I'll give him that.
So you want to go with high B, low A?
He does have a very strong belief in the heart of the cards, and I've heard that's a very desirable quality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna penalize him for the fact that he did bully Yugi early in the series?
No, because Yu-Gi-Oh forgave him and Joey apologized and became his friend.
Also, we don't talk about early Yu-Gi-Oh.
But
yeah, early Yu-Gi-Oh is
you.
very, very much early installment worldness.
It's so funny though, especially when you compare it to what 4Kids did to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
It's
so many people died
It's so
in
jarring.
early Yu-Gi-Oh.
So Yugi kills so many people.
Well, to be fair, ancient Egyptian pharaoh, I kind of understand.
It's so funny though. It's so funny.
But yeah, so where are we putting Joey then?
Low B,
Because
high
if he's
C.
He's that pure of heart and that dumb of ass. He should at least go in high B.
I wouldn't say high B, but I'll say B.
So where in B? Do we want to put him
Uh,
above or below Arthur?
Put him above Hercules.
Okay. Johnny Bravo.
Oh God, he's like he's a very
So
contentious character.
I see arguments both for and against him being a himbo on the basis of how much he respects women. Because on the one hand, he is constantly propositioning them, but on the other hand, he does seem to be able to take no for an answer.
That is true.
The question is, how off-putting is his constant hitting on women? Because he absolutely hits the hot of bod and dumb of ass qualifications. That's not really a question.
Hmm.
You're having a hard time with this, aren't you, Fuzzy?
No, I'm just like dying in general.
Okay, what do you think? Where do you think he goes then?
Honestly, I will leave it entirely up to you. I cannot.
I say C tier.
Alright. Where in C tier?
Right below Brock. Oh, Jonathan Joestar. He will probably be the highest ranked Joestar on this list.
Yes, because he is the most boring.
Oof. You really had to do him like that.
Show me the lie.
I won't, because there isn't one.
uh,
But yeah, no, he
it
meets all
is.
three qualifications.
Yeah, he's like also has more sexual chemistry with Dio than with his own wife.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Dio's a piece of garbage. I don't like. I'm not a fan of the idea of like.
No, you're not wrong that Dio is a piece of garbage. But Dio's one redeeming quality is that he does seem to have some degree of admiration for Jonathan. Even if that admiration quickly turned to envy and hate. Yeah, Jonathan himself is very much a pure of heart, dumb of ass, hot of bod type person. He's just very dull. But that's not really against him qualifying as a himbo, is it?
No, it's not. It's just like.
He fits the archetype.
Yes.
What do you think, Mill?
I'm checking something. From the JoJo's wiki, Jonathan is shown to be an intelligent person and very competent thinker during battles. Academically, Jonathan graduated from university after having written a celebrated thesis in archaeology.
I do not recall reading watching any of that in the JoJo show.
Chapter 6, A Letter from the Past, Part 1, is
Okay.
He graduated.
Well then, that bumps him down to B tier at least.
Yeah.
Where in B tier though?
Low B tier. He's way too smart to be a himbo.
Then below Nightwing. Okay, Joseph is going to be a whole other thing because he goes a lot lower. Did you know? Cheating on his partner.
Yeah.
Which is basically an automatic D tier.
Kind of a dick move all around, yeah.
Yeah, no, dick move. So Joseph is automatic D tier just because of the cheating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Question is where in D tier? There's so much competition. I'd say below Han Solo.
Oops.
No, because he is at least otherwise qualified.
Yeah, that's fair, I suppose. Well, no, Joseph is a very smart lad.
That's true, yeah.
He's very much the trickster type. Yeah, I think the highest rated JoJo character is not of the Joestar lineage. We will get to him. Josuke is high, but he's not going to go as high as one or two other characters from JoJo who are on the list. Josuke, I think, is probably the highest rated of the JoJos, though. Would you say he's high B or low A?
Joseph or Josuke?
Josuke. I suppose it ultimately comes down to how intelligent you think he is. Because he is very much a pure of heart person, and he is also very attractive, I guess. If I recall correctly, he came at the point in the series where Araki was really refining his art style.
That is true, yes.
Sorry, I'm just looking for any, like, TV tropes gives him the trope Genius Bruiser, so...
I am going to dispute that. He is not a genius by any stretch.
Genius Bruiser. So he's clever in a fight.
Yeah, but fight intelligence does not necessarily translate to pure intelligence. Remember, you can be smart in at least one area while still being an overall dumbass. We've established this already.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Alex Louis Armstrong would be much lower than he is. I'd say low A or high B for Josuke.
I'd agree with high B then.
Do you want to put him above or below He-Man?
Below.
Okay. Oh, Jotaro. Jotaro is actually canonically fairly intelligent, if I recall correctly, since he
has a PhD in marine biology.
He's got a PhD that sticks him in C.
Yeah. He's also a bit abrasive, but he has a heart of gold, so. And he is an absolute beefcake.
Yeah, no. It's like...
The question is, where in C do we put him? I'd say below Frankie. Because at least Frankie is a nice guy.
Do you say below Frankie?
Below Frankie. Frankie is a friendly dude. Jotaro is not. Alright, Kanji. Alright, Mil, what do you think? Where do we put Kanji?
Hot of Bod is somewhat debatable. But
he's definitely dumb of ass.
He is dumb of ass, yes. He is part of the dumbass squad in the investigation team.
If I recall correctly, he is the one who needs studying help the most out of anyone besides maybe Chie.
Pure of heart, I guess. Again, I'm not sure on the sliding scale of the list how pure of heart he is. I'd probably put him in B.
Mm. Where in B, though?
Let's say above Arthur.
Okay. Kiryu.
Kazuma Kiryu. Come on. He's pretty fucking himbo-ish.
Oh, yeah, no, he's definitely a pure of heart, ass guy.
He's very solidly one of the quintessential examples of this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's a member of the Yakuza.
A former member for most of the games, actually.
He joined
Oh, is that?
Yeah, no, he like gets kicked out at Zero.
Yeah. He is a former Yakuza member for most of the series, if I recall correctly, from looking at the wiki.
I'd also argue he only joined because of his adoptive father.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wanting to make him proud.
So you're saying that may have been his father, but it wasn't his daddy.
Yeah, sure.
Look, I've been on a bit of an
MCU kick recently.
You know what? Fair. But yeah, I'd say a pretty strong A tier.
No, I'm saying S tier.
Okay then.
Yes,
You
no,
know,
I believe
fair.
Kiryu is our first S tier.
I'm not even gonna.
No,
We've had
he
3
is-
S tiers.
Yeah, we have 3 others.
He's the first S tier that matters.
Well, we have another one that matters in a couple minutes. But first, we gotta talk about Kristoff, who is all around a swell guy, even if he is pretty dumb.
What's he from?
Frozen.
Frozen, right. I never watched Frozen.
I'm not shocked.
Also, it looks like we are going to have to do this in 2 parts, and when are we going to stop?
We will stop at the very least after Kronk.
I think we stop after Kronk.
Yes. But yeah, Kristoff, I would say, is maybe a high B, low A. He's a very friendly, supportive dude, who also gives one of the protagonists shit for trying to rush into a marriage with a guy she just met.
Yes, he's like the rare sane love interest.
Yeah. That does.
Like,
I think that does prevent him from being S tier, honestly, because he does have that little bit of common sense. But on the other hand, his best friend is a reindeer.
That's a positive, though.
I know. I was saying that as a positive.
okay, yes, no, his best friend is a reindeer who is kind of a dog,
Yes.
As with
So-
all Disney properties.
So I'd say low A, honestly. Like bottom of A.
Alright.
Kronk is S tier.
I'm not going to argue. I'm not even going to try arguing. This is a hill I'm not dying on. I don't even have any grounds to die on it anyway, because I've not watched it.
Kronk is basically the character for whom the Himbo archetype was made to describe. I'm not even joking. Like, when people talk about Himbos, Kronk is one of the first characters who comes to mind.
Yeah, that's fair.
Have you seen Emperor's New Groove, Fuzzy?
Oh, very much. You know, I have a story about Emperor's New Groove. My
Go for it.
exposure to Emperor's New Groove came from the game on
Oh.
PC, and it was some of my fondest childhood memories come from that game, which is a bit sad when you think about it. But yes, I was a very easy to please child in hindsight.
I was like that at some points.
So that's where
Yeah.
we're ending for today. We have covered just over half the list.
Yep.
We've still got some heavy hitters coming up.
Oh yeah.
So, thank you everybody for watching today and watching our return stream. Hopefully you have enjoyed. In terms of future stuff, Thursday, not entirely sure. For once, it depends on my work schedule and how quickly my store's close goes on Thursday. I'm not entirely hopeful. If not, then Jack Fuzzy probably going to do some of those more normal tier lists you all found.
Mm-hmm.
That does seem like the idea. Yes.
Okay.
We have a few of those. We can work with those.
Yep.
And if need be, we can try and see if Gen would be down for any of those.
Saturday.
I believe the plan for Saturday was to do Dr. Stone.
Yes.
Since it's so close to the anniversary of its beginning.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Dr. Stone. Finally doing that.
I thought we already had, honestly.
Nope.
No.
We kept putting it off.
We talked about it a bit in other streams, so we haven't talked about it as a whole.
I have thoughts and opinions.
Oh, I'm sure you will. And then
Don't we all?
Sunday will be should be D&D. Still got the 2 recorded sessions to upload. I will get that done sometime this week before Sunday.
We were going to have 3 recorded sessions, but technically difficulty stalled out one of them.
Yeah. Basically, what happened, Kaido was roboting pretty hard. I think you had a couple of issues as well, Jack, but the worst was Gen, whose Discord kept crapping out so badly he would just leave every couple of minutes and have to come back.
Yeah, so we were not able to do D&D.
We were not, no. Was very funny sometimes when he just left mid-sentence, though.
Oh yeah, no, that was funny.
And then next Tuesday, if we didn't finish the Himbo tier list on Thursday, then we'll do it Tuesday. If not, then we might get started on Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah.
Otherwise, again, thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Please do give us a follow here on Twitch and on Twitter at Storytime_net. And otherwise, we hope to see you on Thursday for... Basically, we're pretty much probably going to do some tier lists. But otherwise, yes, good night.
Later.
Bye-bye.